Well, greetings to you, ladies and gentlemen. I want to talk to some breed of men here. These I'm talking to some men of honor, men who have come to comprehend and apprehend that our mothers, our sisters, our wives, and our girl children, they have a place in the society. When I mean having a place, I mean giving them the opportunity and equal rights to speak out and let their voices be heard. And when I'm talking here, I'm talking about giving primordially our young girls both formal and informal education, because we believe as men of honor that the behavioral standard of every woman in the society depends on what education she received. If she's been told that she has places in the kitchen, no matter what she does and no matter what kind of the standard of education or what intellectual capacity she's got, she ends up in the kitchen, then her mindset will be geared towards being an expert in the kitchen and nothing else. Whereas there are a lot of contributions these women would have brought if we gave them opportunities, like our male children. Yeah, I'm talking particularly to some Africans, men, and some women too, who think that other women do not have a place. But I came to tell somebody somewhere here listening to me that it is high time we abort this lunacy. It is high time we put a stop sign and all these practices right down there in the suburbs and in the cities. When I mean suburbs, I am an African man, and being an African, I grew up in Africa, and I've watched our mothers not being heard in gatherings and in meetings to talk issues that concerns them. And I ask the question, how possible would you want to talk about someone's growth and the person is not heard? I'm talking here siding in human acts that are still being carried on these very women in the name of female genital mutilation in some places in Africa like Kenya, Cameroon, and to name just a few, a lot of them. And I have watched it happen, and I have friends who can testify about it happening in their vicinities of birth, of origin. And I therefore want to stand and talk this out, that the woman is not just a follower. The woman is not just a kitchen attendant. The woman is not just a baby carrier. The woman is not just the baby caretaker. The woman is not just a garbage bin. wherein whenever we get our stuffs cleared professionally, and every remain we gotta come home and dump on them, or we've gotta look down on them as the weaker sex. Because I've been in schools and I've sat exams with women who've been able to be top and to be on top. I know of so many of them, and I've got sisters who believe that in as much as I can lead, they too can lead. And they've been crying every now and then to be given the opportunity. So I hereby want to speak for these voiceless women, for this woman down there whose job is just to wake up in the morning and go by the stream, carry water, and bring down and get things ready for their husband to go out, and later she sits home and do nothing. I am the voice of this woman who's been deprived of her dignity. I am the voice of this woman somewhere who's been told that her education means nothing, that she's not supposed to go to school because she has to sit down there and wait for some man to come take her and let her be just a birth canal. I am the voice of this woman who has no right to deny what her parents choose for her, even if it has to do with marrying at the age of 12, because her parents need to get some money to boost their financial stand. I am the voice of this woman who is being abused every now and then by her male co-workers, like she's not been able to do like them. I am here to talk on behalf, of this woman who is treated not as her brother. Every now and then you see a dad who talks to the son, you got to go to school because you were the one to handle every single thing of this family. And while she's there in the kitchen and serving with the mother, but she wants to partake in listening to whatever the father is talking to her brother, but she has no right. I am here to talk about this woman who has been denied the right to drive, and she cannot say anything, and she cannot speak when her husband speaks. I'm here to talk about this, my grandmother, right there in the village, in an African village, who is not allowed to say a thing when men are talking. All she has to do is to bring some drink and some cola nuts for the men and let them eat, and she walks out and sits down there waiting for them to send her for an errand again. And this act of lunacy, as I primordially said, must come to an end. But it cannot come to an end if we do not believe, if some women of honor do not stand with me, if some women somewhere, somehow, who have been victims of any of the before mentioned acts and abuses will not stand with me to speak. It cannot come to an end if some men of honor will believe in what I say will not stand with me and advocate for this. It will not come to an end if some rigid men and some rigid women will not try and compel themselves to think differently and to see differently and to give a better definition to womanhood. At some point, we start and believe and start thinking that womanhood is all talking of what is in between a woman's leg. And I want to call the attention to one woman somewhere listening to me right now. That womanhood is not what is in between your legs that differentiates you only from a male. But womanhood has to do with a lot of things. Your womanhood is the ability to stand for your right. The womanhood is your ability to speak out and fear nobody. That womanhood is equal to the courage and the bravery of this young Pakistani girl in the name of Malala Yousafzai, who stood the grounds and silenced the world, and has been a victim of some very irresponsible men trying to silence her voice. And that womanhood is standing for each other. I am my sister's keeper, and not fighting each other. And this must start with an education. This must start with a mom somewhere talking to her husband that this dear girl child should go to school. It must start by putting up in some gatherings and standing and supporting the back to school of every single girl child somewhere that has been spotted and abused and been sent to the farm or been told to raise and take care of sheep at an age of 6 when her age mates are in school in other countries. And here to say, to call the attention of some men and some women here with this quote: change is the only constant. So you will think that there is no way for women to be heard, or your wife's opinion to be heard, or your daughter's opinion to be heard.